Hello, beautiful. It's Risa coming to you live on Friday for some heart to heart conversation. Tell me, are you feeling stuck right now? Are you confused? Are you trying to figure out whether or not you should stay in your relationship? Drop a yes in the comments right now if you can relate to this feeling of just feeling really stuck and trying to figure out what to do, and you're tired of feeling confused and unhappy. Drop a yes right now in the comments. If so, this talk is for you today. We are talking about how do you make the decision that's right for you. And I want to tell you, I want to share with you some criteria, some good criteria for decision making if you're in that place where you're trying to make that decision. And I will tell you that we do not want to make a decision out of what I call a fog, F-O-G, right? We don't want to make decisions from a place of fear, out of obligation, or out of guilt. And usually that's where most of us get hung up. And that's the coaching work that I do with a lot of my clients. But just to take a look at what are my motivations for staying in this relationship. Is it just, if it's just out of fear, out of pure obligation, or out of guilt, then those are not the best criteria if you want to be able to move ahead in your life and be happy. So just a little question for you to ponder today. The other thing is that we don't want to make a decision. This is the big one, you guys. We don't want to make a decision out of a reaction to what our partners are doing. And so what does that mean? Say if he's doing something or saying something that is creating pain or anger in us, then we don't want to have it be like a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, it's a big decision. We don't want to make it from this sort of place of emotional reaction. Now, I have to say a disclaimer. If you are in a relationship that is abusive in any way, shape, or form, or you feel like it's a really toxic relationship, then that's really a different conversation. And so this is for you if you're just really, you're just really trying to figure out if you are wanting to try and see if you can make your relationship better, or maybe you kind of already know that it's never really going to make you happy, but you're just still feeling kind of stuck. It's different than if you're in something that's really kind of abusive. That's just know that that's a different criteria. And it's not so much a question of should I stay or should I go. It's a question of what's keeping me stuck in something that's really unhealthy for me, right? That's a different question. So what is the problem, though, if we make a decision out of a reaction to our partner's behavior? And we're sort of giving away our power. We're putting the ball in their court, right? I was very clear when I left my marriage to my husband at the time, who was struggling with alcoholism and depression, that I could have left a million times if it was a reaction to his behavior, what he was doing. But I was very clear. It didn't feel good to me. It didn't feel like, felt like I was giving away my power. Like I just wanted it to come from a clear place within me of inner knowing, and not out of just a knee-jerk reaction to whatever he was doing. Right, and I see that with my clients a lot of times. Like, what happens is then, he does something, we react, we say, I'm out of here. And then what happens? Then maybe he starts to change and he starts to show up differently. And then we start to second guess ourselves. And so then we get into the ping pong match in our head and we keep going back and forth. So, we really want to get to that place of clear inner knowing within ourselves. And so we have to be willing to look within. This is really the approach that I took with myself, that I learned how to do from the coaching I got, and that I really encourage all of you to do as well. Is like, before we make any decisions to leave, like, we have to be willing to look within ourselves and just sort of like I said, look at our own motivations. And I'll just tell you a little quick story about when I was married, and my heart was just breaking. My husband was, struggling with all this, the alcoholism and everything, and I would go to a lot of Al-Anon meetings, which, by the way, if you are dealing with a partner who is dealing with any kind of substance abuse, I would highly recommend you join Al-Anon, or there's other substance abuse support programs for the partners of the person who's struggling. That was a lifesaver for me at the time. But I used to go every week, several times a week, to the meetings. And one night I'm walking out of a meeting with my friend Liz, and beautiful night, we're looking up at the stars, and I just say to her, it just makes me so sad to see how sick he is. She turns lovingly to me and says, Risa, it makes me sad to see how sick you are. And I was just like, whoa. In that moment, I got it. Light bulb went off. It's like, wow, my sickness is the degree to which I'm making my well-being dependent on another person and the choices they're making and how they're showing up, and where am I? Where am I in all this? I completely lost myself in that situation. Type of yes, if you can relate to this feeling. The relationship troubles, we get so focused on that other person and what they're doing. It really can really consume us. And so this is my main point that I really want to make for you right now, is that I stand for you. I stand for you making an empowered choice that's right for you. And to do that, we have to be willing to look within and ask ourselves. So, I realize, this is not even about him. It's not even about him. It's about me, right? Where am I? Where am I making my well-being dependent on someone else and how they're showing up? Where am I getting triggered? Where am I giving away my power? Where am I out of alignment with me? Where am I depending too much on my partner for the love and approval that I need to be getting from myself? That was my big one that I really learned, and I think that's the mistake that a lot of us make too, right? We're looking for that other person to make us happy. No one can do that for us. And really, the love we need first and foremost is our own. We need to be in alignment with ourselves. I always say, if you're not in right relationship with yourself, no relationship's ever going to be right, because no one can do that for you. That's a whole nother topic for another day, is expectations and what do you really need to be happy. So before you make any choices to leave, we gotta sort of look at our own stuff, do our own inner work. And I know that usually requires coaching support, but I do have some good news that I'm going to share with you in a minute about a free class that I'm going to be doing to help you further. But the problem is that if we don't like what's going on, and we make a decision to leave without, if we're not willing to look within ourselves and take responsibility for our, we're half of the equation here, and look at what are the patterns in me that are running, then we're just going to repeat them. Have you had this experience where, we leave one relationship? That's a mistake a lot of women make. We think, I'm just going to, get out of here, and then I end up just going to, find someone better, and end up in another relationship thinking that's going to make me happy. But then it's sort of the same kind of patterns, right? Like different face, different place, same kind of patterns that are running. And that's why the divorce statistics for repeat marriages are so high. That goes up. First marriages, they say about 50% end in divorce. Second marriages, it goes up from there. I think it's like 64%. And then third marriages even higher, like 72%. So, we take ourselves with us where we go. So before this is the opportunity that's before us. And I'm sorry if you are having a hard time right now. I know it's not easy, but this is the opportunity, is for us to, if we're willing, to take responsibility for ourselves. And I know that word has sort of a negative connotation, but I like this definition of responsibility is our ability to respond. Right? We don't have control over other people and what they're going to say or how they're going to behave, but we do have the power to choose how we're going to respond. We do have the power to get the tools and the skills we need to be able to control how we feel and to really choose how we want to show up for ourselves and how we want to respond in this situation. So I'm really excited to share with you. I'm going to be doing a free masterclass coming up. Save the date. It's in a couple weeks. August 18th, Thursday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. I'm going to be, watch for more details. I'll be putting that out pretty soon. But it's going to be a free 1-hour masterclass followed by private time for question and answers. I'll be live on Zoom with you. And we're going to talk about what's not working and can you fix it? What do you really need to be happy? And how do you know when it's time to go? So it's the 3 keys to making the decision that's right for you. We're just going to take a much deeper dive into all of this that I'm talking about. But hopefully this is helpful for you today. But keep an eye out for more information on the upcoming masterclass. I'm excited to support you further with that. So is this making sense? Oh, take a breath. I know it's not easy right now. But let's be willing to look within and take our power back to choose to make the choices that are right for us, not out of fear, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, not out of a reaction to anything anybody else is doing, but from your true, beautiful heart and your place of clarity and alignment with yourself. All right, darling, I love you. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you today. Watch for more information about the 3 keys to making the choice that's right for you. I love you. And remember, your bottom line go-to question I always like to leave you with is, what do I need to do today to just take care of myself, right? Let's get the focus off that other person. I know it's not easy. But see if you can, just for now, focus on yourself and just, what do I need to do to take care of myself right now? I might not like this situation, but I can like myself in it. How do I need to show up for me today, right? What's one thing I can do that will make me feel good today? All right, darlings, take good care. Drop some comments in if this is helping you at all. Questions, I'll be going back to look for those. All right, lots of love. Bye for now.